Hello everyone, this is your reading for the week of this week, January 12th, 2026, or when you see the labels of the cards and you decide they resonate with you. So as I was working with Spirit today, I was doing a lot of writing and a lot of channeling. And so when these cards came up, I wasn't 100% surprised because they also came with a message. But first, we'll just do the cards for the self-awareness activity or self-awareness exercise. And the first card is forgiveness. Okay, so this card is asking us to consider where in our lives we are lacking in forgiveness or have not been given forgiveness, or how we've perceived forgiveness, and is there room for change once we start looking beyond personality and beyond table and chair reality. Okay. Type 1, which is usually associated with the ego, is, even though I tell you that it's okay, I'll never really forget. And by the way, it's conditional. If you ever do it again, or something else that I judge as bad or wrong, it will show up again like it's never been gone, and the tally sheet of your wrongdoings will grow and grow and grow. The type 2 of forgiveness, which is associated with higher conscious self. We're innocent creatures who are here to learn and teach each other. In this process, we'll sometimes do things that hurt each other. It's part of the journey towards self-awareness. There's nothing to forgive, only understanding to be had. Okay. That's a tough one this week, I think, for a lot of us. And therefore, worthy of a little bit of consideration, because there's room to grow. Now the card that represents the energy we're being asked to embody is grace. Grace has a smooth, easy, peaceful, and supportive quality. It flows naturally into us and through us. It's an experience of letting the benevolent universe take us through our movements and guide us with a loving hand. Notice the feeling quality of this description and return to it today. Every time you're about to do or think about anything, or at any point in the day when you find yourself feeling stressed and thinking too much, return to grace. And certainly you can see where if you're in a state of grace, when you are allowing that energy to be there and to be the prevalent energy for you, you're far more inclined to be experiencing or offering the type 2 quality of forgiveness. Use your senses is the awareness activity you're being asked to really engage in. And it's very simple. Choose one of the following: hearing, touch, sight, taste, smell. As you go through your day, experiment with the chosen sense. Let your attention focus on it. Notice what activates it and what deepens it, and consider questions like, how does this taste when I smell it first? How many colors and shades are in that tree? Notice what happens to the other senses when you do this. How does it make you feel and change your day? Now, one of the things that's really relevant about this card is that we know that when we are in the experience of our senses, when we are allowing ourselves to really experience our senses, we are in present time. We are in our bodies, we are in present time. And because we're connecting to our senses, which we experience on many different levels of energy, it gives us the opportunity to not only be grounded, but also to sense more and perceive more. That's one of the reasons why being still allows you to get more intuitive information, because intuition will come in and psychic impressions will come in through all of those senses, or can potentially come in through any of those senses. So for this week, what we're being asked to look at is forgiveness. When we find it's difficult to give forgiveness. So obviously, folks, I'm reading these cards, and this is not just about, this is a good experience or a good opportunity for us as people to look at our own lives and how we've experienced them so far. and how we've created them so far. But it's also a reminder of the fact that one of the most important aspects of truly forgiving is that it releases your heart. Truly forgiving, being able to see life in the bigger picture, allows you to free your heart. And why is that important? There is so much, and this is something that the guides are starting to talk about a lot now, and I think I will have to do a video to get it all out. We are in a place now where we are all making choices. The card that came up when I asked them what they wanted to speak about in a video was certainty and doubt. And I think that's key for all of this. Part of what is creating, besides just the brutality of what we're witnessing on a global level, the inhumanity, what we understand also is that people as humans are not all at the same consciousness level, and it doesn't mean that we say, oh, that's all right, to those who are operating from a lower consciousness level, who are working from fear, anger, and all of that side, fear versus love kind of an approach. What it means is we state it, but we don't let the anger and the upset resonate in us in a way where it pulls our heart into the darkness. That's not what we want. What we want is to be able to work with the higher field, which can call out the behavior and stand against the behavior, but do it from the heart that is an expanded heart, that is welcoming in grace, that is staying present and aware and open to intuition. What it means is the way to, it sounds so simple and so ridiculous to say peaceful resistance is the way to go. And it isn't always. I believe it isn't always. However, when you are not in a position to do something that is directly connected to helping the situation on the earth plane, just talking about it in a negative way doesn't always help. It doesn't mean you don't call it out if you see it. But when you call it out, can you please allow yourselves to be in your loving, graceful heart? What might that look like? That might look like the difference when you are training a puppy, right? When you're training a puppy and they pee on the floor, you can get angry at the fact that they peed on the floor. And you can hit them with a newspaper or do whatever you do to discipline them. That's without an angry heart, an upset heart. Can you look at this puppy and go, poor little puppy, your bladder isn't big enough yet, is it, sweetheart? Let's clean that up. But next time, on the paper or out the door, okay? It doesn't mean you don't call it. It doesn't mean you don't name it, but it means, can you be in a place where you rise above the frequency of the hatred that you are calling out as wrong, because you don't want to get pulled into that. Now, that is, again, not to say you don't stand for what you believe. You stand. You do. But the more you can align with grace, the more you can align with your high heart, the more you can align with the acknowledgement of that which is not in alignment with your higher values, and yet stay in your higher state in order to call it out, means that what you're doing is you are now creating an energy that is beyond that stuff we see going on. You're moving more into coherence, which is where you can unite energetically with everybody else who is. Can you imagine that there are a whole bunch of people out there who are holding space and energy and love for this planet, even though their hearts get hurt by the brutality of it? We're meant to have emotions. Of course we are. But can we let them elevate us rather than take us down? That's what I feel is the message for this week. And that's what I feel the activity is about and the exercise is about. And what I would say to you, my dears, is whether you're working at this on a global level or on a personal level, when you are working with higher values, when you are working with these and other ways to stay self-aware, you are already rising above. And you are already helping to create that coherence with those who also support it. And it's so much more powerful than that ick energy that you see around you. This is where you learn. This is where you evolve. This is how we create the world we want. So whether or not you're dealing with it on a personal level or whether or not you're dealing with it on a global level in your own perception of the global world around you, it still counts as moving us towards the higher dimensions, moving us towards compassion, frequency, and love, the frequency of love. I'm going to leave you with that, and I hope this is relevant and useful for you. Okay? Much love. Take care.